minutes. This is BBC One. Now, a party election broadcast by the Conservative Party.
A tree without roots cannot withstand the slightest pressure. A party without roots doesn't stand for anything, and doesn't stand for long. New Labour have tried to cut off their past by cutting off their roots. They've given up every principle. They've turned their back on all their beliefs. They've abandoned the people who voted for them. And they've ditched everything they stood for to try and look electable. So now, there's nothing that can keep them steady. Tony Blair began this election campaign by asking us to trust him. 20 times he asked for trust. But how can you trust Labour when they'll say anything, do anything, promise anything, change anything to try and get elected? A tree without roots cannot withstand the slightest pressure. In the past few months, Labour have been for privatisation and then against privatisation. They've said they'd be tough on the unions. Then they've given in to the unions. They've promised the Scots their own parliament, then cut it down to a parish council. They've been for grammar schools and against grammar schools. They're in favour of GP fundholding, and they're against it. They've said they won't do a deal with the Liberals, and they've said they will. They've said they'd be tough with Europe, and they'd give in to Europe. They promised a top tax of 40 pence and a top tax of 50 pence. Without roots, Labour are blown all over the place. Imagine what they'd be like in government. At the first blow from the trade unions, Labour would cave in. This would mean more strikes. When spending pressures grow, Labour would collapse. That's why they're planning an emergency budget in July. This would mean higher taxes and higher mortgages. And at the Amsterdam Euro Summit in June, when Britain has to decide whether to sign the social chapter, Labour would give in on that as well. This would mean massive job losses. Without roots, Labour are blown all over the place. Cutting off your roots and ditching your principles may make you look electable, but it's very dangerous in government.
That party election broadcast by the Conservative Party can be seen again with subtitles on BBC Two at 10:30.